Chris from My Stamp Lady, and I'm here today to show you 3 ways to use patterned paper. And to do that, I am going to be using the Lift Me Up bundle. Now this bundle is available right now in the Occasions catalog, and you can find that on page 10 of this catalog here, the Occasions catalog, which is good through May 31st. It includes this stamp set, Lift Me Up. The bundle includes the Up and Away Thinlit dies. However, you can purchase these separately, but if you purchase them together, you get a discounted price. I'm also going to be using the Sweet Sentiment stamp set. I like this stamp set. It's also in the Occasions catalog, and it's right here on the last page. A nice thing about this is it coordinates with so many of the sets in the Occasions catalog. However, you can still use them without the Occasions catalog. In fact, I'm using 2 of them in some of the things I'm showing you today. I'm going to use the Hoping Your Day is Perfect, and I'm also going to use the Congratulations Graduate. I'm also using the Stitched Shapes Framelit dies, and you can get a link to this on my blog, or if you're watching this on YouTube, down in the description I have a link to all of the supplies I'm using. And this is a great die set of shapes that have the stitched look and include squares, ovals, and circles. So this is the pattern paper that I'm going to be featuring, and this is called Carried Away. It does come in 12 by 12 sheets, but I cut them down to 6 by 6 just so it was easier to show you all the patterns that are included. It features the colors Watermelon Wonder, Night of Navy, Peekaboo Peach, and Mint Macaron. And so this is one side, and then when you flip it over, you can see the other side that is available on this package of 12 sheets, 2 of each of the 12 by 12 papers. And this is found in our sale-a-bration catalog right now, which you can get this free when you purchase $50 worth of product from Stampin' Up. And here it is right here on page 7 of the sale-a-bration catalog, which is good through the end of March. And you can find all of this stuff, all the links to this on my blog at mystamplady.com. So this is the pattern paper stack that I'm going to be using to create my card today. So what I'm going to do first of all is create one card, and then I have some additional samples to show you at the end. So this is a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 inches cardstock, scored at 5 1/2 inches, and folded in half for my card base. It's the thick Whisper White cardstock, so it's got a nice weight to provide the base for your card. And the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see the pieces of pattern paper that I cut down from that Carried Away set. And this is the other side, but I'm going to use these 2 sides. And I've cut them down. This one, all of the dimensions are on my blog. I believe this is, oh my gosh, 1 3/4 inch by 5 1/2. I'm 100% sure, but it's close to that. So let's glue that down right in this left corner here. Then I'm using this piece here. It's also 5 1/2 inches tall, so it's going to run the entire length of the card from the top to the bottom. So I'm just going to use this to accent the left side of my card. And then I can set this aside, and I'm going to work on the other parts. So this piece measures 3 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and this is going to be my focal piece. And I'm going to start by stamping my clouds on this with some soft sky ink. So I'm using the 2 cloud images from the Lift Me Up stamp set. Be sure to stamp them random, and also stamp off, because that's going to carry your eye around the whole card front, and it won't make it stop just where the card. You won't have like a frame around your card if you carry off with your images. Okay, so then with my smaller stamp, I'm going to stamp a few additional clouds, and I'm just going to kind of overlap those clouds as we go around the card front. Now I can just mount this to the card front. I'm using Fast Fuse adhesive. I really like this adhesive. It's very strong, but you saw I got a little string there. You do need to do that check mark. It's very important to do that check mark so that it breaks the adhesive. And one reason I like it, obviously, is that it's very strong, and so once it goes down it is down. So you got to make sure you have it in the right place when you put that down. And that's going to finish off my card front here. Now I'm going to stamp some images that I'm going to cut out with the Big Shot. So to start, I'm first of all going to stamp the Hoping Your Day is Perfect in Watermelon Wonder. And I'll stamp that there. That's going to be cut out with the stitched shape die. Then with Mint Macaron, let's stamp the smaller balloon. And then I'll bring in Night of Navy to stamp my larger balloon. So the Big Shot sandwich that I'm going to use is my magnetic platform and an acrylic plate. And I'm going to place all three of the pieces that I want to die cut right onto, oops, flying away from me here. I'm going to place all three pieces. I'm going to pick a flatter acrylic plate. That one's got a little bit of a bow to it. I want it to sit a little closer to the magnetic platform. And let's place our dies around our images that we want to cut out. Sometimes you have to move it a little bit because the little magnets in the center are circles and they might pull your die. You can usually solve that just by moving it a little bit on your platform, and then you should be okay and it will cut or hold it in place. I'm going to put that other acrylic plate on the top and run this through the Big Shot. So I've die cut those pieces. And I'm going to bring that card base back in. Just set this down first of all, kind of for placement. I want to figure out where I want those balloons and where I want my sentiment. And I'm going to put this, kind of tuck that balloon behind that one. And look at that, I covered up one of my clouds completely. So I could go in and do a couple of things, and which I think I am going to do, is I'm going to add a cloud back in there. Let me grab my... I'm going to grab my Soft Sky ink. Because I ended up covering that cloud, which I didn't plan ahead of time, I'm just going to add another cloud in there so that it'll show up. Okay, so now I can figure out, like I said, I didn't plan those clouds necessarily, I just kind of did them off the top of my head, and I really wanted one more cloud in there. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to place those. So now that I've figured that out, I'm going to take my pieces and use my fast fuse and mount that down. Now I'm doing that with these balloons, so we'll do that first. Okay. Then my Night of Navy balloon, grab that one. I did want my sentiment to kind of overlap my paper on the side, so let's place that there. Oh, a little crooked, so hopefully I can adjust that. Oh yeah, there we go. I hadn't pressed it down too firmly yet, so I was able to pick that up and do that. This is a piece of the mini striped Watermelon Wonder ribbon, and I'm just going to lay that across the front of my card. I'm not going to wrap it around the edges. I've just cut it to size, so it's 4 1/4 inches long, so it wraps just around the front of the card like that, and I'm just gluing that down. With the length of the Whisper White baker's twine, the solid baker's twine, I'm going to wrap this around, and this is why I chose to do a card that was, you know, opened this way instead of from the side. It opened from the bottom, because it makes it nice and easy to wrap around my twine, and then I can tie it. I don't have to worry about making a slit in the card fold on the side. You can just wrap that twine right around the top without worrying about going in from the side. So I'm going to kind of play with my bow here for just a second till I get it how I want it to look. I did wrap that twice. Let's grab that. I like to hold my knot in the center as I adjust that bow, because that helps it so it doesn't loosen up. Just going to adjust one more thing. There we go. And now with my scissors I can trim off the ends. There we go. Oops, let's make this one a little bit shorter. I went a little shorter on that other one. So now my last step is just to add in the dimensionals on this focal piece, or this sentiment piece. So I've just added the dimensionals on the back, pulled off the covers here, and this will give a little lift over my baker's twine and a little dimension to the card front. Hoping your day is perfect and you have a fun sentiment for sending a just thinking about you, or even a happy birthday. You could just add a happy birthday sentiment on the inside. So this is one way to use the two pieces. Then I have this card, also with the Lift Me Up and the Carry It Away pattern paper. And with this one, I just did a large piece of pattern paper kind of as a background, did the large balloon, and that's actually backed by a different piece of pattern paper from that Carry It Away set. Emboss the sentiment on a Night of Navy flag and place that down, and again with the baker's twine. So another way to use your pattern paper. And then the last card I'm going to share right now, I again used two pieces. I used two patterns, and some of these are the reverse, but this are just two banners. And then that sets off this focal image that I have here. And this large balloon is backed by solid cardstock. The Congratulations Graduate is also from that Sweet Sentiment stamp set, and more Carried Away paper. Now, one thing about using the paper, this is a free product that you can get from the Sale-a-bration catalog with the $50 purchase. Now, if you buy the Lift Me Up bundle, which is $54 in wood and about $40-some in clear, you with the wood purchase, you actually do get you could choose the Carried Away paper as your free choice. If you choose the clear mounts set, which is what I have here, just add some ink or some Whisper White cardstock and you can choose that Carried Away. This goes through March 31st, so be sure to visit my blog, mystamplady.com, for printable directions, and you can also go to my store, shopwithmystamplady.com, to find all the supplies to make these cards and the 3 ways to use pattern paper. Thanks a lot for watching.